Sir Herbert A. Simon, a famous American economist, had quoted, "Wealth of information creates a poverty of attention." In a recent study by Pew Research Center, 1 in 5 Americans feel overloaded by information. It may not seem like it, but this means that around 20% of the people around you are operating in a mental fog. We are living in a world where we eat content, drink content, and breathe content. This information overload is known as infobesity. This is a state when it's difficult to understand an issue and effectively make decisions when one has too much information about that issue. Living in this age of social media, I feel we all need to understand how to tackle the abundance of information thrown at us and not to be burned out with it. We need to learn how to skim the information and process it and not get overburned by it. I will further elaborate on what is information overload, its consequences, and how to avoid it. What causes information overload? The advent of modern information technology has been a primary driver of information overload on multiple fronts like email, World Wide Web, social media, mobile phone applications, and televisions. There was a time when information was a rare commodity to a handful of people, but thanks to the 21st century, that now 1 in 5 people are victims of information overload. As they say, anything good in excess is bad. We don't even notice that we are the actual victims of infobesity. Some of its symptoms are feeling stressed out, irritated, and unfocused. There was an example given in an article. People working in a firm took an average of nearly 15 to 20 minutes to return their focus to a work task after an email interruption. And the time lost in the handling unnecessary email and recovering from these interruptions caused the company thousands of dollars. Decision-making ability of an individual is curbed when the mind is boggling between all the information thrown at it. There is a fear that we might lose the essential information and instead pick up nonsense from the information source, which could lead to wrong decision-making based on faulty information. Surging volumes of available information and its interruption can adversely affect the innovation and productivity of the worker, and processing rates become slower due to the information addiction. There is so much information out there that people are no longer able to distinguish between legitimate and fake information. Consequences of information overload. Information overload affects individual knowledge workers struggling to perform their jobs while drowning in data and entire office organization, whose productivity and customer care suffer as a consequence. Impaired quality of work and poor decision can largely be attributed to information overload. Mental and psychological related issues increase stress on an individual due to a limited information capacity. Information addiction. People become so obsessed with this quest that they experience information addiction. This is the dark side of information. Information fatigue is a mental exhaustion arising from exposure to much information from the media, the internet, or at work. Many companies have banned social media sites, other websites, in an attempt to make the employees focus on their work. How to cope up with information overload? We are drowning in a sea of information. The constant barrage of information thrown at us non-stop 24/7 cycle makes us weary and lost. Therefore, it is very important for professionals, students, and anyone who wants to focus and concentrate to learn the art of separating the wheat from the chaff and to lead productive lives that are meaningful and deep. We as individuals should learn to switch off when needed and to master the art of managing too much information and finding the right data instead of paying attention to the meaningless data. Streamline your intake capacity. Take a 15-minute break every couple of hours. Do a brain dump by writing down your thoughts and getting them out of your head. Ignore extra information. Take actions. Filter information and focus on what is important at the moment. There is a massive volume of new information coming our way every day in 60 seconds period of time. 3.3 million Facebook posts are made. 500 hours of YouTube videos are uploaded and 1,500,000 emails are sent. The probability of achieving the best possible decision defined as decision-making performance, which can be achieved with a clear mind, we are not built to process all that information. When we attempt to process more than what we can handle, our brains become fatigued and we suffer from, you guessed it right, information overload. Discipline helps mitigate interruptions and distractions and increases cognitive capacity. What choice will you make when you leave today?